All right. So that was continuity bonus. Let's talk about continuity discounts. So super common in the continuity world. And there's I don't say right and wrong way, but there's at least a way that I like to do them versus how everyone else does them. So this is my little visual. Look, you get this free time if you do this commitment. Get X, Y free with Y commitment. Very simple. All right. But there are a bunch of very cool things that I've done because I've been in the contract world for a lot of my life. And so there's some neat stuff that I can show you. So, this is less how I learned it, but one of my favorite stories. Young neighbor of mine, when I moved into our neighborhood in Austin, he had exited a waste management company, so trash. And, I walked outside, I meet the guy. He seems totally salt of the earth, awesome dude. And so I was like, tell me your story, like how this all happened. He's like, oh, dude, I maxed out my credit cards for an entire year. I asked my whole family for money. None of them gave me any money. I maxed out everything I had. And what I did was I just went to all the big, apartment buildings and I said, I'll give you a year of service for free if you switch over to me, if you sign a 5-year agreement. So basically a 6-year agreement, 1 year free, and then 5 years on the back. So he was able to do that and he got all these big apartment buildings over, but it also meant that he had to deliver services for a year before getting paid. So talk about like very tough cash flow cycle, but he was able to do it. And then as a result, was able to eat up a ton of market share and they ended up selling to a national conglomerate and making a ton of money for it. And so he had this like big Ferrari in his driveway and was just like a normal dude. And it was a really cool guy. And so that's fundamentally what he did. So this was a discount continuity play. It says bonus. It should say discount. There we go. So here's the description. Here's how it works. To make a one-time continuity discount, you give products or services away for free if the customer commits to buying more products and services over time. Makes sense. So this can attract loads of potential customers and makes a very easy sale that anyone can close. If you look around, you see this offer in many different industries. So think internet, pool cleaning, gym memberships, landscaping, anything that's rentable, storage, leases, get your first 2 months free if you sign up for a year, things like that. You can make this work in any business as long as you know 2 things. Number 1 is first how you will apply the discount. You can do it in 4 ways, and I'll show you all 4. Second, your cancellation policy, because a lot of people don't always keep their commitments. So let me give you some examples. So this is the first way that you can do a continuity discount. So upfront, you can apply the discount upfront and push out the term, as in the official time starts after the free time ends. So in the story that I gave, he gave a year for free, and then he had 5 years on the back. So he basically gave 20% away. Here, 3 months free, 12 months on the back. Now, this works best in industries that have successful histories of reinforcing contracts. So cell phone carriers can do that because they'll cut off your cell phone stuff. Storage works well with this because they have your stuff. Real estate works well because they'll kick you out. Cars work well because they can take your car back, right? Anything that has collateral tends to work really well with this type of model, which is why a lot of them do it. All right. Now, if you have historically high churn, then skip this one because it means that you don't have a lot of enforcement, and this is probably not the best way to do it. Now, this does not get customers profitably. All right. So he lost a bunch of money for the first year and then he made a bunch afterwards. But it does get customers. It delays cash. So if you want more profitable options, continue on down our list. A fun note here is that instead of giving time away for free, you can also give it away at a discount, right? So that you can protect the upfront cash flow. So that same concept of I'll give you 1 year free, he could then say I will spread it over 5 years and decrease it the same way as we did with the rollover credit, just applied as a front-end offer. Also, I'll give you a pro tip on this guy. So if you are going to do an upfront deal, let's say that you say, when you sign up for a year-long commitment, I'll give you 3 months free. Make sure that you get 12 months on the back. You don't make this 3 plus 9. So I see that a lot of times people mess that up. So you're going to massively decrease your contract by basically you're saying you're overcoming the hardness of a 1-year sale, but you're not getting the full 1-year sale in the back. So you want to get the 3. So this is technically a 15-month agreement. The first 3 are free, next 12 are paid. What people mess up is they do 3 months and then 9, so they have a 1-year agreement. So little pro tip. So the second one is at the end. I love this one. So you can apply the entire discount at the end and you push out the term so long as they make the payments on time. And I love this because it also encourages adherence to payment schedules. And they get a bonus time equal to the value of the discount. So here we say, great, I'll give you 3 months free after you sign up for the year and you pay for the whole year. So I'll give you your 3 months for free, but you have to pay all 12 on time. So I can still attract customers saying 3 free months when you sign up for a year. And I just say, great, you get it at the end. I explain the terms. They earn their free time, which is why I like this so much. And it encourages good behavior. The third way you can do this is you can spread it over time. All right. And so the spread over time is you apply a discount across the term. This is what I was kind of referencing earlier, but I have a nice, pretty visual here. So for him, if we said, okay, we give you your 3 months or whatever it is, free, or 4 months free, then we just divide everything. We basically take 25% off the payment schedule. So 3 months free for a year at $200 per month, you've discounted by $600. By spreading that $600 over 12 months, $650 per month, right? We've already been over this one. But you can still, again, you use that $600 credit as the thing you advertise now. That's the difference here. So you advertise what you would roll over eventually as your front-end offer. So you say, that $600, I'm going to give you $600 of credit. I'm going to give you 3 months free. Remember the same thing. You can do 3 months free. You can say the amount off. You can say the absolute amount, $600. All of those are different variations that you advertise. You say you get that free. When they come in, you say, great, I'll spread it over the term. Now, after the term finishes, it goes back to full price. This is after the first 1 or 2 payments. So I'll explain how this works. So this one is probably like best of both worlds kind of thing. If you sell, a 12-month commitment and then they get the 3 months afterwards, some people are going to be like, okay. I mean, I was hoping I'd get it up front, but fine, I get it. Now, the people who sign up for that will be great customers. But this is kind of what I would consider the midline, the middle line, somewhere in between. So you can get 1 or 2 payments up front, then you give the free duration, then you get the contract commitment that begins after that. That's kind of a little bit of the best of both worlds, because here you get to liquidate the cost of acquisition. So the way that I like to position this is you get the free time up front, but you have to pay first and last. So that gives me 2 months that I can get upfront, so I can offset acquisition costs, pay commissions, and then they get their free time. But they've still paid for 2 months, so I have some skin in the game before we get their free contracted period. All right, so they pay a few times, then they get their one-time discount. The way you collect a bit of cash to cover the acquisition cost and some delivery costs. I prefer to do it by presenting it as first and last month, or last month up front, or adding something like a one-time fee. So it's like, yep, you absolutely will get the 3 months. We do have an onboarding fee, or we do have a setup fee that you have to pay, but you'll still get the 3 months immediately, and then the payments will kick in. So all 3 of these are variations. You could also do last month plus a fee. You can do first and last plus a fee. It's totally up to you. But these are all variations that allow you to advertise huge chunks of time and still monetize acquisition. It also makes sure that whatever payment method they give you actually goes through. And so sounds like a small thing, but actually pretty material. All right, so here's some additional examples. You've seen real estate, 2 months free lease when you sign a 12-month lease. Storage, free month, which we know, 127, it's not really a free month, with a 12-month commitment. Gym, 2 months free with 12 months, whatever. Cleaners, 3 free cleanings with 6-month contract. Massage, 2 months of massage, 2 times a month. You prorate the free discounts over the duration, so they still pay up front, which is just like the rollover upsell, except with cash. All right, so those are all examples that you can use. Now, important points. Display $1,000 per month with 3 free months in 4 ways. What is free? The 3 free months, the absolute amount off, $3,000 off, percentage off, 25% off, comparison will discount your mortgage. So don't eat into the term with the discounts, extend them. So this is what I was referencing earlier. So you don't want to do 9 then 3, you want to do 12 then 3 if you're getting the 1 year. That's all this is. That's the main point. Now, sounds small, but it's 33% more money. So don't miss that up. Highest value per word of this entire presentation. Number 1, you want to bill on weekly, every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks, or every 12 weeks, etc. The reason for this is fundamentally that people misunderstand that there are 4 weeks, technically 4.3 weeks per month. And so if you bill on 4-week cycles, there's 13 billing cycles in a year, which means you get 1 full month of revenue for free. And so if you look at your monthly recurring revenue, if you would like to put that in your pocket this month, for example, you can guarantee that you put it in your pocket by just changing your billing from monthly to every 4 weeks. Now, some people say, hey, well, you said weekly. It's more that you can present the prices weekly, but you still bill on a 4-week cadence. Because I found this out the hard way. If you bill weekly, you get a bunch of financial pain in the butts of people changing cards and like, hey, can I pause for 1 week? Pain in the butt. So present it as whatever, call it $50 a week, but you bill at $200 every 4 weeks. All right, just to be clear. So this is fundamentally how it works. That gives you 8.3% more revenue. So that may not sound like much, but if you run a 20% profit business, if you go from 20 to 28%, it's going to make you a lot more money. That's almost a 50% increase in revenue. So I think there it is, 41%, right? Kind of nifty. And the best part is, you don't do any more work. You just change a few words in your contract and how you present the price. That's it. In my experience, I've never had any difference in take rates between every 4 weeks versus every month, but you make a lot more money. So you're welcome. 3% more revenue for 4 extra words. Yeah, it's X plus a 3% processing fee. Now, I've never had anyone not buy because of processing fee. The 3% added to your top line for no extra work goes straight to your bottom line. If you run a 10% profit business and add 3%, you just added 30% to your profit. Pretty worth it. And this works especially well when paired with they get two forms of payment. Recurring businesses lose amounts of cash because payment processing problems. So basically people's card goes, their numbers change, they move states, there's some guy in Nigeria who tries to bill them, whatever, right? They've got something and they have to change their card. And so first, customers don't cancel, but their payment information changes or expires. Second, customers max out cards or have insufficient funds. Fix both issues with the same solution. And so what we do is we say, hey, now that I told you about this 3% fee, remember kind of the rental car, like, hey, there's this fee. You want to avoid this fee that I made up anyways? Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So if you want to avoid that 3% fee, do you want to save some processing? Awesome. So just give us a second form of payment in case anything happens to the first one. If they ask why, which they rarely do, just say, we only have the processing fee because it costs us money to get new forms of payment every time something changes. In this crazy world, people's cards are changing all the time. So we pass those savings on to you. So now I'm positioning this as a benefit to them. I'm passing the savings on to you, even though I made up these fees to begin with, right? And that's how it works. And just like that, you give up the 3% increase in revenue to have a decrease in churn. And oftentimes, if your churn decreases by, call it 20% because of the involuntary churn, you more than make up the 3% in revenue. Now, there's a third little payment hack for you, which is you can get ACH if you can. So ACH is something called automated clearinghouse, which basically how banks pay one another. And so if you can get a second form of payment, try to get ACH. So this links directly to their bank, and it's the cheapest way to transact besides cash. So if you don't know what ACH is, you can Google it. But fundamentally, wherever you process money, they usually have an ACH option. And think about it like this. How many times have you changed your checking account or your bank in the last 5 years? Probably not nearly as often as you've gotten new credit cards. Right, and the same thing applies for your customers. And so if you get this as a second form of payment, this thing's gold. It pretty much never declines because it really can't. They either have the money or they don't. And so this way, I like having two forms of payment. One's a card, one's ACH. We get the ACH by giving back the processing fee. And here's a fun little benefit of ACH. Not only do you get the reduction in churn, you also save some money on processing too, because it's cheaper to process via ACH, usually by 1 or 2 percentage points. So gift cards. So you can give the discount on time in the form of a physical gift card. You can mail it to them if they are out of the area. So if you're a national business, you can mail it to them. The customer can apply the discount whenever they want after their first 3 payments, right? So you can say, hey, when you buy, we're going to give you these 3 months free, but I'm going to give it to you in this form of this card, and I'm going to mail it to you. And then you have to remember to come back and redeem it. Now you might be like, Alex, well, deal with it. You can do whatever we want. Okay. And so then that way they can also, if you want a position to make it sound good, they can gift it to a friend if they want. All right. That way it's like, hey, gift it to a friend. And beyond that, many people simply forget to use it. And in that instance, you just get the full price sign up. All right. So in the quote, worst case scenario for the business owner, they get it and then they redeem it after a certain period of time. So you still got payments and you made sure the card worked and they were a legit person. The second condition is they give it to somebody else, which is awesome. I'll absolutely accept their friend, which is now a free customer that I don't have to pay for. And I will give them that 3 months in some sort of aggressive way. I might spread it over the term, might use one of the other ways, or they just don't use it, in which case we got the full price sign up. So you can use the discount that you want in the form of a gift card, which is basically the same as a rebate. So this is a fun one. So try lifetime discounts at your most common churn point. So you advertise a lifetime discount, but you make customers earn it. So they get a lower rate if they stay past Y or X period. And you make the Y or X period the month that the average customer drops off. So the first time I saw this was on Amazon. They had a continuity for rice packets. I buy rice. And they had 5% off if you go on continuity and 15% off if you stay past 5 months. And so this is the idea, is that you want to, and it was 5 months to the same address. Like they're pretty particular about it, but you can get a lifetime discount. And if they know, and I'm sure they did the math, that they knew that people would stop paying at, call it the 4-month point. And so they say, okay, well, let's put a big nugget after the 4-month point where they get a lifetime lower rate after that point. And so you can think through your own business the same way and hang the carrot. And you can also use this in the advertising. So let's say, every customer stays 4 months on average. You tell everyone up front, they get a lifetime discount after month 4. So a lot of times people are willing to pay more upfront if they know it's eventually going to go down. But this does 2 things. One is it gets people to buy at higher rates than they otherwise would because they know it's going to go down. And 2, it gets them to stay longer because they know when it's going to go down. So as the time approaches, tell them the new or lower rate is right around the corners. This is key. So if you do know that it's at month 4, month 5, or whatever, that they're going to start getting the lower rate, at month 2, at month 3, be like, hey, 2 months left. Hey, 1 month left. Remind them the fact that they're earning that discount soon, and that it'll basically continue to incentivize them to stay and pay. Okay, so I said you have to have two things. One is knowing how you're going to apply the free time or the discount, and the second was cancellations. So there's four ways that I like to approach cancellations. So if someone cancels during a trial, so you can say you're allowed to cancel during the trial. Now, if you do that, it'll increase sales because then people will be like, okay, well, this is easy, this is no risk, but you'll decrease stick rate, meaning the number of people who will stay on the back end. The other version of this is that you can have zero cancellations and say there are no cancellations allowed, which works with good customers, but it will decrease sales and increase stick. Sometimes, though, I mean, for example, Netflix and some of these other massive companies, they don't even try that because they have customers that are unenforceable. And so if you're going to have zero cancellations, make sure it's with good customers. If you do zero cancellation policy on bad customers, you will decrease sales, but you will not increase stick. So you'll just get the cost, but not the benefit. Another way of doing this is a prorated fee based on savings accrued. That just sounds like fancy terms, but basically, if they cancel, a month 6 and got 2 months free, you just bill them the difference of what they saved over that 6 months. And this one is probably the simplest way of doing it, which is you just have a one-time breakup fee. So you have an out clause, it increases stick, it increases sales, and you get money on the way out. And you can also use it as a negotiating chip to figure out something else. I like this one because it's the easiest to explain. It's very simple, and I like the negotiating chip personally. So the way this would look would be, hey, listen, you can get you have a 12-month agreement. If you want to get out of the agreement, it costs you 2 months. That's it. So it's very straightforward. So if you cancel at month 1 or month 11, it doesn't really matter. It's 2 months breakup fee. Now, when they come to break up, you set it up front. They initialed next to it. You say, hey, this 2-month breakup fee, what was the issue? And then you can try and leverage that, waive the fee, get a review, get a referral, get them to upsell, all these other things. Okay, cancellations. You need to have a cancellation policy figured out ahead of time. There are many common ones, 30 days or 60 days notice, cancellation fees, cancel any time, etc. Since everyone comes into my continuity offers on a discount of some kind, this is my favorite. Just make the cancellation fee equal to the discount that they agreed to get. So if they got $600 in discount by committing, they can pay $600 whenever they want to cancel. This is very simple to explain, right? So if they got 3 months free, then you just got to pay for 3 months at any time if you want to break early. I like this. Everyone gets it. Now, make sure customers know how to cancel. This sounds obvious, but it's one of the first things you should do. This is my recipe for preventing one-star reviews, is tell them exactly how to cancel. So if customers have nowhere to complain inside your business, they will definitely complain outside your business. So try to get them to complain to you rather than to everyone else. Now, if you have no obvious way for them to cancel, more people will vanish and complain. By having a clear way for them to cancel, then you can at least talk to them and have a real chance to save them. Now, I want to be very clear. Small businesses do not get rich by making stuff hard for their customers. If you make it easy, you'll suffer less and get fewer one-star reviews and have a chance to save them when they do, because you'll actually know about it. So try to make it easy for them to contact you when they want to cancel or they want to let you know about a change and stuff. Don't make it hard. You will lose more money. I promise you. If a customer wants to cancel, ask to do it in an exit interview. I like this. Some people like to vent, let them. Remember the angry boat? So get more angry about the problem than them. And they may try to calm you down. And as soon as they try to calm you down, then you have won. So sometimes they'll just save themselves. Be like, actually, it wasn't that big of a deal. They're like, cool. Well, I think it's a huge deal. Right? You want to have that happen. So if they complain about something you can solve, then by golly, solve it. All right. And if they want a better product, do a rollover upsell into a higher level of service if you have one to offer. I've had many people buy a lower cost offer and then complain because they wanted higher cost features. So then I offer the higher cost features and then they buy. Yes, it happens. And yes, it works. So use cancellation fees to the customer's advantage. So I might say, hey, I'll waive your cancellation fee if you come in and tell me what I can do better. This gives the customer a real reason to give feedback, which, by the way, makes us better. Then I can use their feedback, fix the product, or offer something better suited for them, so I can make more money. At the very least, they'll have nicer things to say about the business if I actually try and solve the problem. Now, this isn't the classic, you have to cancel in person. That's not how you say it. That just makes it a pain in the butt. So you say, I have this cancellation fee, we can charge it, or if you're willing to at least sit down and tell me what we could do better, I'll waive it for you. That is now friendly. It's like fee or feedback. Your choice. And when you have the feedback, you really want to have a dialogue with them. You don't want to go straight to a sales pitch. That's not going to work. You want to let them vent. You want to have them feel validated. You want to be more upset than them. You want to have them calm you down. You say that you made the mistake and that's unacceptable. Ask them to see if you can make it up to them. Then you do a rollover and you get a do-over. That's the idea. Those are the important points. Woo! All right, summary. So continuity discounts give continuity time for free if customers sign up today. Front-loaded discounts convert more customers, but they have higher churn. Back-loading discounts convert fewer customers, but they have lower churn. Spreading the discount keeps cash flow while providing the full discount, which is one of the reasons I like it a lot. Use gift cards to give the discount to new customers and allow them to gift it to a friend or use it on themselves at a later date. You get the full price sign up and you get a referral or you get somebody that's going to use it later. Both of those things are good. Allow customers to earn a lifetime discount on your month of greatest churn and let them know throughout the time as they get closer to it that that discount is around the corner. Light cancellation terms get more people to sign up, but more people leave. Higher cancellation terms get fewer signups, but more people stay. I prefer to let people cancel and have to pay the difference between what they saved and what they would have paid if they didn't get the discount if they cancel early. Make sure customers understand how to cancel and understand how to contact you. If a customer wants to cancel, ask for an exit interview. Incentivize them by saying that you will waive the cancellation fee, which gives them a real reason to do it, so that they can either choose fee or feedback. And the goal is to make more money, not give more stuff away. And that is how we structure this stuff. Kaboom! Conde discount.